The lords of Beersel owned an allodium and a small fief in this area, which belonged to various families. The first known lord of Beersel was Godfried van Hellebeck, Seneschal of the Duchy of Brabant, a function that the lords of Beersel would continue to hold. He already owned a castle there around 1312. In 1391, Jan II van Witham, 1340 to 1405, Seneschal under Duchess Johanna van Brabant and her husband, Wenceslas van Luxembourg, obtained recognition of his lordly rights over Brussels and the surrounding area. With the help of a Brussels militia, he succeeded in taking the neighboring castle of Gosbeek, where the murderers of Everard to Cercles had hidden. His descendants would remain lords of the castle for 7 generations, until the end of the 16th century. Under Hendrik III van Witham, great-grandson of Jan II, the castle was taken by a force from Brussels, which had rebelled against Maximilian of Austria. In 1488, the furious people of Brussels destroyed Hendrik's townhouse in the Volderstraat, and then, under the leadership of Philip of Cleves, marched to Beersel with heavy artillery. The castle was defended by Hendrik's son Philip of Witham, initially successfully. Because raids continued to disrupt the city's supplies, they laid siege again in 1489. During this second attempt, the castle was badly damaged by shelling, and the garrison had to surrender. The captain, Willem van Ramely, was hanged with several soldiers on the Grote Markt in Brussels. Not much later, Maximilian came to besiege Brussels, which had to capitulate due to exhaustion and plague. The Peace of Dannebrog obliged the people of Brussels to pay compensation to rebuild Hendrik's house and to restore the castle of Beersel. In gratitude for his loyalty, Lord of the castle Hendrik van Witham was elevated to Knight in the Order of the Golden Fleece on 26 May 1491, and later to Chamberlain of Emperor Charles V. He thus became one of the most powerful lords of his time. He died in 1515. His son Philip, plus 1523, succeeded him. When Philip's grandson Jan II died in 1591, the last male heir of the Van Witham family disappeared. Through the marriage of his daughter Ernestina, the castle and the lordship passed into the hands of the Dukes of Arenberg. Due to neglect, the castle fell into disrepair towards the end of the 18th century. Under King William I, it was temporarily used as a cotton weaving mill, 1818, but the enterprise was not very successful. Finally, it was partly demolished and left to decay. In 1877, Victor Hugo visited the castle of Beersel. As far as is known, he did not make a sketch or drawing of it, as was his custom, but he did write a short poem about it. He is said to have written it while standing in the first-floor room where the portcullis's operating mechanism once stood. There in the valley lies the lonely mansion. The least sound is silent beneath its gloomy arches, and every hour of the day a stone falls from its dark battlements. The raven has nestled in its ancient halls. The owl repeats its lament there every evening, and the blade of grass between the cold slabs of its vast corridors. Restoration. After the decline of the 19th century, it was decided to restore the castle with historical justification. In 1928, Count and Countess Guillaume Hemicourt de Grun decided to donate the castle to the Friends of the Castle of Beersel. A thorough restoration managed to save one of the purest examples of late medieval military architecture from destruction. Under the leadership of Raymond Pelgrims de Bigard, the works were soon started. He was assisted in this by Brother Herman, teacher at the St. Lucas School, and architect Ignace van den Hulst. Since 1948, the castle has been owned by the Royal Association of Historic Residences and Gardens of Belgium, which makes it available to the municipality of Beersel. After years of planning, a new restoration was initiated in 2008 by an archaeological investigation. The second phase can start after the green light from the Flemish government for the subsidy file in March 2011. Architecture. The current appearance dates from the 15th century. This castle was never converted into a pleasure palace like other castles. This makes it a beautiful example of a fortified castle. The oldest parts of the castle date from the beginning of the 14th century. Two construction periods can be distinguished. These can be situated in the 14th and 15th centuries. The embellishment in white sandstone is 15th century. Like most castles, Beersel has a lot of architectural elements that should improve its defense. The drawbridge has a working mechanism dating from the late Middle Ages. However, the classic donjon, which is standard in other well-known castles, is missing. The three semicircular residential towers from 1617, in the middle tower is the Knight's Hall, with a Gothic vault from the 15th century. The whole is decorated with the brown and gray sandstone of the region. Originally, there was also a watchtower, which has disappeared. There also used to be a chapel and a kitchen. The maintenance was carried out by the residents, but in the 19th century, the situation was disastrous. Due to the lack of repairs, the castle fell into disrepair, and all the roofs collapsed. The castle is located at the foot of the hill on which the village is built, slightly higher than the meadows of the Zen. The castle has a wide moat and sturdy defensive walls built of locally baked bricks. Of the castle on an elliptical plane, only 3 closed corner towers remain, connected by the outer wall with a rampart. The northern tower functions as a gatehouse with a reconstructed wooden bridge and drawbridge. The general layout, the foundations, and part of the rising masonry date from the end of the 13th, beginning of the 14th century. Brick construction with the use of local brownish and white-grayish sandstone. Very closed moat facades marked by a few original straight loopholes, finished with red-brownish sandstone. Lime sandstone loopholes for crossbows with pouring holes, including reconstructed ones, and adapted 15th and 16th century loopholes with a central hole for the long cannon barrels. Small, later added, rectangular windows and 2 round frames, all in a lime sandstone frame. The latter are installed in the southeastern wall, which is supported by buttresses, slightly projecting crenellated battlements marked by a surrounding water list on blocks. Restored slate roofing above the western aisles. Towers covered by a steep, half-hipped roof with dormers, leaning against the stepped courtyard facades that are flanked by projecting spire turrets, south and west. Pepper pot-like roof turret on top of the south tower. North tower with entrance risalit, delineated by corner chains. Recessed basket handle archgate inscribed in an arched wall opening, space for portcullis. Crowning late Gothic niche with inscribed trefoil and curved crowning, and higher up 2 cloister frames. Vaulted passage with a dumping hole, built after 1491. The facades on the courtyard side are punctuated by round arched niches of different heights and widths, each time alternately finished with beveled loopholes or pointed arched niches with barred rectangular wall openings and windowsills. Crenellated wall walk with restored roof. To the west, supported by braced posts on the courtyard side. Narrow, concealed staircase in each side. Vaulted cellars and substructure of the magnificent residence, which also included a castle chapel. The towers show an interesting defense system and layout, based on the same basic scheme with different finishes, depending on the purpose of the rooms. Built-in staircase in the thickness of or against the courtyard facade, starting from the ground floor. Connection with the wall walks on the second floor, closed with sturdy doors in order to defend the castle, tower by tower. A kind of manhole in the west walk, from which the ring moat could be reached. Inside, windowsills in the pointed arch niches of the rectangular windows, unplastered walls, wall niches, and paved floors, mainly reconstruction with original material. Wooden ceilings on tie beams and child beams with neat finishing of the curved moat facade side, where the surrounding beam is supported on profiled corbels. Usually 1 latrine per floor. Armory on the top floor. The north tower of 4 sections with restored stepped gable, 11 steps plus top piece, shows lime sandstone corner chains and is punctuated by cordons of the same material. The facade is opened by a simple round arch door, stone cross frames and rectangular barred windows on the ground floor. The wall anchors 1617 refer to the restoration at that time. Clear construction seams between the original and the careful reconstruction. On the first floor, slots for the portcullis for the gate to be handled from here. Gothic fireplace on profiled supports with octagonal plinths from the 15th century next to the window on the square side. Bedroom on the second floor, equipped with 3 wall openings with niches and windowsills, an alcove, and a Gothic fireplace from the 15th century. West tower, reserved for the garrison, equipped with a stone staircase and simple fireplaces on the first and second floors. In the south tower, former courtroom or kitchen on the ground floor, and beautiful knight's hall on the first floor, end of the 15th, beginning of the 16th century, covered by 2 Gothic cross-ribbed vaults with keystone, supported on consoles, enriched with foliage motif and elaborate blazons of Hendrik II and Philips van Witham, ruling lords at the time of the reconstruction. Interesting basket arch fireplace with profiled tread on beveled nuts. Concealed staircase to the second floor, which is provided with a curved mantelpiece against the moat facade, with a beautiful fire floor formed by sintered bricks and straight side-by-side placed slates. The Auberge du Chevalier, now known as Auberge Castel Beersel, consists of 2 adjacent volumes of 1 floor under a projecting pantile saddle roof. In the roof plane, 2 climbing dormers. The left part dates from 1933 and shows a petrified imitation, half-timbered construction in the front facade, while the right volume, built in 1966, was built entirely of brick. The oldest volume consists of 4 bays, with the canopy front door in the 3rd bay. Originally, the inn had 2 adjacent outbuildings under a pantile lean-to roof. Only the left extension has been preserved. Originally, the entrance tickets were sold there. In the back, a pavilion for the supervisor, now a ticket counter and shop, was built in 1967. It is a single-story volume in petrified half-timbered construction under a tiled overhanging roof. The volume has 2x3 bays. If you like this video, please subscribe and press the like button. Credits WorldTraveler-BE AI voice, text-to-speech, Serena.